when I was young, like, my mom came from Spain, and my mom just worked her ass off her whole life, and never, she gave me everything she had, but my mom never like had all this money, you know what I mean? And I knew that my ticket to college was gonna be my hard work, like it was gonna be an athletic scholarship. So my senior year, I was in the gym every day. I was at the track. My coach gave me workouts ever since the fall, and I opened up my season running the fastest time in the state and getting recruited really heavily, and it got me my full ride to college. So from there, my mission was always, once I saw my talent go there, I said one day I wanted to try and make an Olympic team. My second year out of college, I qualified for US Nationals and ran a time that was, in March, top 10 in the world. And then injuries, unfortunately, finished that season. And then I had injuries, a lot of injuries to my left knee throughout my career, but then I switched my citizenship to Spain. My mom was from Spain. And so I went there to try and make the Olympic team for Spain. The closest I came was within the standard. I was 0.6 off the Olympic standard, so which is like a stride and a half. So unfortunately, I never made an Olympic team, but I trained for 3 Olympics, and I knew that I would always leave when I felt I had no regrets. Everybody kept saying, "Well, you're getting older. You haven't made a team yet." And there was always people in my ear being like, "Well, what's your plan next, Sean?" And I was just like, "Mind your own business." I think as any athlete, it's so easy to focus on what you didn't accomplish. You know what I mean? Like that's what athletes, what strives you to be better, is if you always thought about the great things you did, you'll just kind of be like, okay, I'm good, I accomplished this, I'm okay. Like, you'll just settle, you know what I mean? And when you think about the things you didn't accomplish, that's what drives you. Yeah. And I think that's what I focused on my whole career, not in a negative way, but I was like, okay, I was top ranking in the world. I've traveled with the USA team. I was runner-up at nationals in Spain. Like, I've seen a lot and done a lot, but it wasn't enough. Like, I wanted the Olympic rings on my body. So finally, just one day, I was going out there and I was just like, I have no motivation to go and hit a hard workout today. And I knew it was time to walk away. And I had no regrets. Like, I literally left my career, jumped straight into full-time, being a personal trainer and group fitness trainer, and it was kind of like the right time for me. I was always scared of what would happen when what would I do without track? You know what I mean? Like, I thought I'd be like so depressed and be like, oh my God, like, I don't know what to do with myself. And I think mentally it was just the right time. Have you ever felt that way?
Yeah, I think, I took 15 years off of athletics, competitively, which the time I took off was probably a pretty important time to not take off, because of, my body changing and growing. Yeah. But like taking 15 years off and then coming back to it, thinking, oh yeah, I got this. But knowing that it's kind of a crazy, far out there, thought that I even could have a chance. Yeah. But I didn't really care what anybody thought. I was like, I'm gonna do it for me. So I went out there and saw some really good progress when I first started, but it was really hard. But I got injured. Yeah. Pulled my hamstring 2 years ago, a couple years after I met you. And recently I want to start training again. I mean, I want to train until my heart and soul and body says you're done, and my mind. But yeah, I've had those feelings, but then there's something in me that just, I think there is a point where you go, okay, you're gonna always have that feeling that's never going to leave, but you find peace with it. Yeah. And I don't think I really have found peace with wanting to stop yet, because I feel like there's still room for me to I want to get back into it. I'm slowly getting back into it. I just want to see how far my body can go, because I think anything is possible.
I was out, but I was always very insecure about coming out and talking about it in sports, because sports is such I don't know, when you're with, it's not open. I mean, with the girls don't care, but the guys are just it's just, sports is testosterone. Testosterone built, it's you're out there, and it's, I felt like in the time, it's not now, I mean, obviously my mentality's changed, but I felt like me being gay would have been a weakness, showing a weakness. You know what I mean? Like, then be like, oh, and he's weak. Like, you know, he doesn't have the mindset that we have. Obviously, it's not, obviously I know that now, but that was just more my insecurities, my own thoughts. Over time, like, it completely changed. I think the biggest thing was, like, when I got into the industry, I was very, like, knowing that the owner was, like, in the military and was very, Raphael was very, you know, was very serious, and I was very, I would say, self-conscious and insecure about people knowing that I was gay as a trainer. And me, like, being like, okay, like, bring your shoulders back, and like, all right, now bring your elbows back, or fix your hips, and then be like, oh, the gay guy just touched me, you know? That was all in my head, though, you know what I mean?
I feel like Circuitworks has, like, offered a unique platform for you to be able to express yourself, like, freely, like that.
Oh, for sure. And I think that, like, once, you know, I even had a talk with Raphael, and he was like, dude, when I found out you were gay, I was stoked. He's like, gay trainers do the best in this industry, you know what I mean? And he was super supportive of it, and I was like, really? And he was like, yeah, he's like, I was hoping you were. So, you know, seeing that, and it's so funny because, like, he was the person I think I was most terrified about knowing, you know what I mean? Like, I thought that he would be like, what? This guy's in, you know, my hardcore gym? No, you know what I mean? Like, and it is funny that, like, literally you get voices in your head that you make assumptions and you assume things, and it could be the complete opposite of what you actually think, you know, could think it could be the answer. I mean, thought he'd be not approval at all, and he was, like, the most, you know, excited about it. So, you know, it was awesome. I think every team, I mean, with you included, and Katie and everybody there, they've always just loved me for who I am. You know what I mean? They take my class, they love it. They know I'm crazy and I say off the wall stuff, and they love it. I build a relationship with them. I don't just see them as, like, oh, you're a dollar, you're, you know, whatever, like, your money. And I really, really wanted to help people. I wanted to give back to what the coaches, I had some amazing people in my life who got me to where I was, especially my coach in Seattle. She gave me more than I could ever ask for. She was like a second mom to me. And her love for me and her passion for my success is something that I, like, truly wanted to give back to people. Like, she, like, had an effect on me like I never thought. Yeah, I mean, she truly made track and field, like, it was really never as fun after her. It was always track, and I loved it, but it was never like, I don't know, like, it's really no words, like, what one individual what they can give you in your career and what they can give you in your life. And I truly feel like she was the inspiration behind why I wanted to be a great coach. So, did not expect that. There you go. But that's kind of my track days and why I did what I did. I had a client who came in just walking. He was one of the first clients I met at Circuitworks, like a couple, and they were both incredible. And they would always come to my Tuesday class, and then over time they would just walk on the treadmill, and he eventually, I mean, he was in his 50s, and we started off walking, and like 2 years later would run a 12.5. Like, that is insane.
That's amazing.
I mean, literally the first time he hit 12 points, I remember the first time he hit 10 double digits, he jumped off the treadmill, and he literally looked at me with this look of, like, he did it. And I was, like, blown away. And I just remember, I'll never forget, and I literally had to put the mic down, and I walked out in the lobby and I cried. And I came in and I hugged him, and I was like, that was incredible. Like, you know, and then he had 12.5 later on, you know. I mean, there'd be people in class who were like 23, and they'd look over and they'd be like, what the? Because he would be like, they were like, this guy is running 12.5, you know what I mean? And he was told at an early age that he wouldn't be able to walk when he was like 30 years, at the age of 30, and here he is running 12.5. So it's those stories that you realize, like, wow, you do have an impact on people, and it's not just, I've never just seen this job as money.
Yeah.
I've taken jobs for less money just to help people because I want to help them.
Yeah.
I think greed in this industry doesn't get you anywhere. Or at least that's why I've never been a greedy person, but.
So I kind of like have this little like secret ambition to try to start training again. 'Cause I feel like you have this like subtly like, Sandra, are you working out? Are you running? What are you doing? I feel like you totally, if you wanted to, I think you could train again. I think you could do it